Fusion Mobile, quality e-learning experience on the go.
Now let's go to farm survey and planning. Farm survey and planning. Definition. Farm survey involves the measurement of the farmland and the representation of such measurement with map, with plan or layout for specific purposes. Farm survey involves the measurement of farmland and the representation of such measurement with map, with diagram or layout for specific purposes. Whereas farm planning involves the use of the farmland in the most appropriate way so as to reduce or prevent degradation of land. Farm planning involves the use of the farmland in the most appropriate way so as to eliminate or reduce land degradation or land wastage. Now, what are the importance of farm survey and planning? Why do we survey the farm planning? Farm survey helps the farmer to determine the size of his farmland, especially in hectareage. 1 hectare equals to 10,000 meters square. So the farmer is able to determine how big or how large his farm. So farm survey helps to determine the size of the farmland. Number 2, farm survey helps, as a basis for feasibility studies. When projects are to be conducted, we need to determine what we will need to complete the project and the amount of money that you will require. This is called feasibility study. You can only do feasibility study after you have known the size of the farmland. Farm survey helps to determine or serves as basis for feasibility studies. It also helps in the proper use of the farmland to avoid any mistake or error. After you have done the farm survey, you cannot determine how the land should be apportioned for different uses of the farm. It also helps in determination of the yield. You can predict the output of the farmland because you know the size of the land. You can equally predict the input materials that will be required on the farmland because you actually know the size of the farmland. It tells the farmers, to use the land as collateral security to obtain loan from the farm. A land that is surveyed can be used as collateral, to the C of O that you have collected can be used as collateral to secure loan from the banks. Then it also enables the farmer to easily acquire certificate of occupancy. Farm survey enables acquisition of certificate of occupancy. It helps in the planning of farmstead. Farmstead is the building of the farm, which is used for productive or processing or official purposes. And farm survey helps in the proper planning or how to map out the farmstead. It helps to know the topography of the land. Know the topography, maybe it is flat or undulated or sinusoidal or whichever, or mountainous or hilly. It helps to know the natural phenomena of the land as well as the topography of the farmland. Farm survey helps to know the fertility level of the soil and the natural vegetation of the land. It helps to know the fertility level of the soil and natural vegetation of the land. The farm survey helps to know the boundaries or demarcations between the farm and the other farm or other land. It helps to determine the boundaries, the extent to which the land covers. Now, we want to go to survey equipment. For farm survey to be made possible, there are certain equipment that are used to determine or measure the farm survey. The first of them is the ranging pole. Ranging pole. A range means a distance. It means a distance from between two points, and a pole is just a stick. A ranging pole is a wooden or light steel pole that is about 1.8 to 2.4 meters long. A ranging pole is a long pole made of wood or made of light steel that's about 1.8 to 2.4 meters long. It is blunt in one end and it is sharp at the other end. A ranging pole is blunt in one end and it is pointed at the other end. A ranging pole may be round in shape or may be hexagonal in shape, that's 6-sided. A ranging pole may be round in shape or may be hexagonal, 6-sided in shape. Now, a ranging pole is marked by two different colors. One could be black or red, the other one is white. Or rather, one is red, the other one could be white or black. So this is red, and let's say this is white. A ranging pole is marked with two color bands, red and white. The red color is to enable the ranging pole to be conspicuous in the distance, so that you can easily see the ranging pole in the distance. What's the use of ranging pole? Ranging pole is used for marking survey stations. For marking survey station. What do you mean by survey station? A survey station is a point of stoppage during measurement on the farm. If I want to measure from this point to this point, this place is a survey station. The place I'm measuring to is a survey station. So we use ranging pole to mark it. It's used to mark survey stations during operations on the farmland. Number two, it's also used to make a straight line on the farm. When we want to make a straight line on the farm, we use ranging pole to do that. Okay, let's go to Gunter's chain. Gunter's chain was designed by Mr. Gunter many years before the invention of measuring tapes. Gunter's chain was designed many years before the invention of measuring tapes. Gunter's chain consists of dumbbell chain that are connected together in length. Gunter's chain is about 20 meters. It's about 20 meters. It's not fully 20 meters. It's about 19.6 meters. But we could. Now, we are talking about the Gunter's chain. Gunter's chain can be used to take the horizontal linear measurement between 2 points, that is, the length and breadth of the land. Okay, we had measuring tape. The measuring tape has been designed to replace the use of Gunter's chain in taking measurement on the farm. A measuring tape is made of flat material, such as the leather or clothing material or fiberglass or rayon. This material, you have numbers written on it, calibrated on them to read in metric and imperial points. So measuring tapes is made of materials, flat materials that have been marked in metric and imperial units. Metric and imperial units. Examples of metric include centimeters or millimeters, centimeters, and meters. Example imperial units include inches and feet. So they are measured in centimeters, millimeters, centimeters, meters, as well as inches and feet. A measuring tape most often could be wound into a case for easy mobility, so it can be carried about. It is rolled into a case so that it can be carried about. Measuring tape could be of different lengths. It could be about 2 meters, it could be 50 meters, and it could be 100 meters. Most of these measuring tapes are used on the farmland. Some of them are made of light steel, which is called engineer's tape. It's made of light steel, which can now be put by the side. Whenever it's to be used, it is rolled out of the case. And when it has been used, or when the usage is done, then it is pressed, it will roll back. That one is called engineer's tape. We have the other forms of tapes, the one that the masons, bricklayers use, which is rolled into a big case that is made of leather. All these are measuring tape used on the farm. The units are put in different colors, maybe red, blue, grey, and black, which could be in form of metric, millimeters, centimeters, meters, or imperial unit, inches and feet. Then we have the next one, prismatic compass. The measuring tape is used to take the horizontal and vertical linear distances between 2 points. It's used to take the measurement for horizontal and vertical linear measurement between 2 points. That means it can take the length and breadth. It can also take the height and the depth, length or measurement. Now, prismatic compass, as the name implies, it is a compass that is placed on a prism, or that has a prism to cover it. Normally, a prism, a compass looks like a clock, but it's not a clock. In the it has a circular plate. It has a circular plate like clock. This circular plate under has at the center has a pivot. On the pivot, you have a sensitive magnetized steel needle fixed on top. This needle is very sensitive and it can deflect, it can move depending on the geographical location that you are. And the whole thing is now covered with a prism. So it has a circular plate. That circular plate is graduated to read in degrees and minutes. That means here will be north, here will be south, here will be east, and here will be west. So it's to read like that, north, east, southwest. It has a pivot at center, and it has a spring or a sensitive needle, and everything is covered with a prism. Prism is like a glass, so you can see through. And this prismatic compass is now put on a stand, tripod stand, so that you can be able to read it. How is it used? It is used to take the horizontal angular distance between 2 points, or horizontal bearing between 2 points. What it means is that it can be used to get the bearing of land on horizontal level. You cannot take elevation angle, cannot take depression angle. Those ones are vertical angles. Now let's go to the theodolite. Theodolite is just like a prism, but it works more than prismatic. Prismatic compass, but it works more than prismatic compass. A theodolite has 2 circular plates put side by side, and both of them are calibrated to read in degrees and minutes. That means they have north, east, south, west, north, east, south, west. And these 2 circular plates are put inside a case. The case is now placed on a tripod stand. The case has telescopic search and objective eyepiece, such that this theodolite can be used to view a far distant object by the means of the telescope. These 2 circular plates are placed inside and are to read in degrees and minutes. It's often used with a rigid pole. The pole is put afar off and is observed by the observer. Now the pole has a plumb line that flows to a particular point, which is called a reference point. It is now used in connection to rigid pole to know to the point of interest, which is far. What is the use of theodolite? Theodolite is used to get the bearing or the angular distance between 2 points on both horizontal plane and vertical plane. Theodolite is used to know the angular direction or bearing between 2 points, both on horizontal plane and the vertical plane. What it means is that we can use theodolite to determine the bearing between 2 points or between 2 objects on Earth's surface, horizontal plane. It can also be used to get the angle of elevation between an observer and a plane, as well as angle of depression between observer, maybe and a fish in the pond. These are vertical angles. Okay, then we have arrow of pain. Arrow of pain is a light steel pin, which is about 1 foot or 30 centimeters long. It is 30 centimeters long, and it is bent into a loop at one end, and the other end is pointed. Arrow of pain is pointed as a loop at one end, the other end is pointed. The loop end is often attached to a red scarf or a red cloth. What is the use of arrow of pain? Use of arrow of pain is used like rigid pole. It's used to measure, or rather to mark survey points. It's used for marking of survey points. It is used on the open land, unlike rigid pole that can be used on the bushy or vegetative land. But arrow of pain is used on the open land to mark survey stations. Offset staff. Offset staff, as the name implies, is a staff. The word offset means short measurement taken out of the real set. For example, if I measure from here to this place, this is a set. Any measurement I take off the set is offset staff, offset measurement. Here to here is offset measurement, here to here is offset measurement, here to here is set measurement. Now, this offset staff is like a yardstick that's used by the people selling clothes in the market. It is 36 centimeters long and it is marked in inches and in foot. So it has 3 stages: 12, 24, 36. One end of it is attached to a ring. One end of it is attached to a ring. What is the function of offset staff? Number one, offset staff is used to take short measurements on the farm or offset measurement. Number two, offset staff can be used to pull a rope through the bush or through the edge. The rope will be attached to this ring, and the offset staff can be used to pull it. Number three, okay, that's just that. The next one is beacon or pillar. Beacon or pillar. A beacon or a pillar is a rectangular concrete block. Rectangular concrete block which is used to denote a survey land. Normally, the concrete block carries an inscription on the edge which has relationship with the survey plan. Then the beacon or pillar is now planted into the soil with 1/3 of it exposed to the surface and 2/3 remain in the soil. What's the use of beacon or pillar? It is used to identify survey land. It's also used to represent boundaries between 2 points or between 2 farmlands. How do we maintain our survey equipment? Number one, all the instruments should be cleaned after use. The instruments should be kept in dry and cool place after use. The metal parts should be oiled or greased or painted when storing for a long time. Instruments should be kept from rain and sun. The instruments should be kept away from children too. The worn out parts should be replaced as early as possible, and all the instruments should be used for intended functions. The instrument must not be used for non-designated functions. And lastly, competent surveyors should be allowed to use the instruments. Now we are through with survey equipment. We now move to the farm planning. Now let's go to farm planning. Don't forget, farm survey and farm planning go hand in hand. The essence of doing farm survey is that you might be able to arrange the structures and the buildings and all the other features of the farmland in a very proper way, such that there will be no problem. So now what is farm planning? Farm planning involves the making use of farmland in the most appropriate or suitable way so as to reduce or eliminate the wastage or degradation of land. Farm planning involves the making use of farmland the most appropriate or most suitable way so as to eliminate or prevent the misuse or degradation of land. Now, what are the importance of farm survey or farm planning? Farm planning, number one, enables proper use of the farmland. Number two, it prevents any form of wastage or misuse of the land. It does not allow you to make mistake. It's that you have planned the way you put something on ground before you go ahead to put it on ground. Number three, it helps in proper site of farm buildings. When you want to do farm building, it helps to know where to put the farm buildings, maybe animal building, maybe office, residential building, you know. Again, it also ensures location of animal buildings in relation to other structure or other buildings on the farm. It tells you to know how to put the animal building in relation, because animal building should not be sited very close to residential or official, so prevent the odor from disturbing people. So it tells you to know how to where locate the animal building. Next, it also promotes general neatness and overall decency of the farmland. Farm survey, farm planning, you know, it promotes overall neatness of the farmland. Okay, good. What is farmstead? We want to go to farmstead now. A farmstead is any building on the farm which is built and is used for production, for official or for residential purpose. Any building on the farm that is used for official production or residential purpose is a farmstead. A farmstead is just a building. Okay, good. Now, what are the factors that influence setting of a farmstead? When you want to site a farmstead, when you want to look for the place to put your building, what are the factors that influence? Because on the farm, you may have a place where you plant crops, which you call the farmland. Then you have the place where you build the house. That's farmstead. That means a farm should be in two parts. You have the field. That's where you plant crops. Then you have the stead, the farmstead, that's the building. So the building now could be with animal building, it could be office or residential, it could be anything. Now, what are the factors to look at? The first one is topography. The topography, when you are doing your farmstead, look at the topography. The building must not be sited on a slanting or undulated way or land. This will create a lot of problem when you want to assess that particular building. The topography should be good and the soil should be good. Most often, the farmland, the farmstead or is a farmstead is positioned on the poorest part of the farmland, so that the rich part of the farmland is used for crops production. Number 2, soil type. You look at the soil type. The soil type should not be clayey, so as not to allow mud to disturb you when you do rainy season, when you want to get into the farm building or into the farmstead. It should be maybe like sandy soil. The land should be down sandy soil and dried. Number 3, accessibility. The farm building must be accessible both to legs and to vehicles, because you may want to take input materials like fertilizer and chemicals to the farm, and you want to take produce out of the farm. It must be accessible. It will not be placed as hidden or difficult to get to by cars or lorry. Okay, there must be adequate water supply also, because you need water for human consumption, for animal consumption, for processing. There must be adequate water supply, maybe by borehole or maybe taken from a river or stream that's closer to you on the farm. So there must be adequate water supply on the farmstead. Hygiene or health. You must plan for right hygiene of the farmland. You must plan for overall neatness, for overall conducive environment of the environment. And then nearness to market. You will make sure that there is no difficulty in getting your produce or animal product out of that farmstead. It was very near to where it can be disposed for sale or for transportation. Then drainage. There must be a good drainage system. The farmstead must not be flooded, because if it's flooded, it will disturb operation of the farm. People will not be able to get to the farm and work will not be done smoothly. So assurance must be made that there is a good drainage system running on the farmland. Okay, now let's go to principle of farmstead athlete. Principle of farmstead athlete, we are trying to look at what are the principles to follow when you want to apportion land for various uses. Number 1 is you must note that the most fertile part of the farmland must be used for production of crops. The most fertile part of the farmland must be used for production of crops. Now, the poorest part of the farmland must be used for building of houses or construction of houses. The unfertile part of the farmland should be used for the erection or establishment of farm houses. And again, farm houses must be erected in a land that is sandy, not clayey, to prevent any form of difficulty during the season of accessing the farmland. Okay, the animal house should be put far away from residential houses, so that there is no disturbance from the stench or odor that come from the animal house. The animal house should be put in place far from residential official area. Another thing is that the farmstead should be positioned in a good orientation, so that there can be proper ventilation on the farm. The windows and the door, everything should be done in a way that there can be cross ventilation on the farmland. And generally, the farmstead must be arranged, should not be clustered, should not be disjointed, must be planned, well planned and arranged to give overall neatness to the farm. We want to go to calculation of cross population now. How do we calculate cross population? How do the farmer know how many crops that he has on the farmland? Normally, you might say, okay, the farmer should count. He will count one by one and know how many crops he has on the farm. But when you have a very big farm, like 1 hectare, 2 hectares, how do you know? You cannot calculate it. You cannot just go there and be counting 1, 2, 3, 4. You must have a formula for you to know how to calculate the crop population. So calculation now. So we say cross population equals to area of farmland, which is measured in meter square or converted to meter square, all over spacing, which is also measured in meter square or converted to meter square. This is crops population. cross population equals to area of farmland all over spacing of the farmland. Everything should be in meters square. That means for you to calculate the cross population, you must know, we must first of all know the shape of your farmland, because from the shape you get the area of the land. Don't forget, if the farmland is triangular, the area is half base times height. That means half of here, and then this is the height, perpendicular height is height, and this is the base. Half base times height, that's the area of triangle. If it is circle, it is pi r squared. If it is circle, pi r squared. If it is rectangle, it is length times breadth. It is length times breadth. If it is square, it is length times length. Length times length. If it is trapezium, it is half a plus b into height. Half a plus b into height. That's if it is a perpendicular height. If it is a rhombus. Now, all these are shapes that we go out from the farm. You use it to calculate the area of the farmland. Meanwhile, the space will be given. The space is always given as the distance between the two crops. Now, let's pick a sample of calculation. Let's pick a sample of calculation. We can say that calculate the cross population for the farm below if it is planted with cassava